Welcome to the InfoGov Hot Seat Vodcast, featuring candid interviews with practitioners, consultants, and solution providers on hot topics in the information governance industry. Here's your host, Jim Merrifield.
Hello and welcome to the InfoGov Hot Seat, where tech leaders get candid and we get curious. I'm your host, Jim Merrifield, and today we're diving into one of the most anticipated events in the legal tech world, ILTA Con 2025. Now, if you're like me, you know Iltacon isn't just another conference. It's the place where innovation, collaboration, and community come together to shape the future of legal technology. And this year, it's happening from August 10th to the 14th at the stunning Gaylord National Resort in National Harbor, Maryland. So whether you're a seasoned attendee or a first-timer, this is the event to be at. So to give us an exclusive preview, I'm joined with two incredible leaders from ILTA. First, Tony McKenna, president of ILTA, and Jason Dirkx, the incoming president of ILTA. Welcome to you both.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, I know I introduced you, but Tony, let's outside of ILTA, what's your day job like?
Well, hectic as always, particularly in the current climate. But yeah, I'm the director of technology and change at Howard Kennedy. The change element for me is the most exciting. We get a load of stuff done. We've got a stable and reliable platform, but getting in around the lawyers and working with them on a regular basis around what's coming down the pipe is the fun bit of the job.
Love it. Thanks, Tony. Jason, how about yourself?
Sure. I'm Jason Dirkx. I'm director of AI product management at Sidley. And as you can probably imagine, in the climate right now, my day job is pretty hectic. I'm getting questions from all sides, partners, clients, vendors, everybody. So it's pretty intense.
Yeah, you're the popular one in law firms, right?
Right now.
Yeah, managing those AI products. I love it. Well, thanks to you both for joining me today on the hot seat. Tony, let's start with you. What's the overarching theme or vision of Iltacon 2025?
It's a fantastic conference at a wonderful venue this year. I can't wait to get to National Harbor in a few weeks' time. We're going with a pirate theme, and where's the link there? Not just the fact that it's on the waterfront, but obviously information is the treasure in our industry at the moment, and how to get that treasure. Well, using a pirate theme, and in the conference itself, you'll see a lot of connections back to pirate themes. So you'll be seeing a lot of Army gym lad and stuff like that. But it's all about the information. And in an event like ILTA Con, there's going to be so much peer-to-peer networking, education sessions, that whole information, that really topical day-to-day information that people really thirst for and you can take back to your firm is what the whole theme of the conference is all about.
So I'm sure there's some first-time attendees, right? So what advice would you have for first-time attendees? Maybe Jason, you can answer that question first. And of course, you know, throughout this conversation, if any one of you want to jump in and kind of banter a little bit, that's fine too.
Sure. Yeah, I've got the same advice that I pretty much give every first-time attendee, which is find some of the stuff that's maybe a little bit outside your comfort zone or maybe a lot outside your comfort zone and just pop in. That was something I did my first couple conferences, and it really helped expand my horizons into areas like law firm finance and legal project management and pricing that I had no idea about. And also, it's a long week, so definitely pace yourself.
Yeah. I agree with that. Pace yourself. Great bit of advice there. One of the other things, Jim, for newbies is this whole idea of the buddy system. That's a fantastic thing that ILTA set up a few years back, where if you're new, you go into the buddy system, you get connected with a seasoned ILTA Con attendee, and they can really open up the doors really quickly and get you to the right places that you want to be and things you want to see. There's loads of information on the ILTA Con website, and actually that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on. Is in my tenure in the board, is we've kind of improved the ILTA Con website. So get onto that and have a look at the Know Before You Go. There's a kind of what to expect webinar coming up this Wednesday, 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time. So just really take that half hour to invest in looking at what content that is there so that you can map out and do exactly as Jason says, look at all those sessions that are a bit outside of your comfort zone that you kind of want to learn about.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and wear some comfortable sneakers, right? Or some sneaker shoes.
For sure.
Because you're going to be walking a lot for sure. But hey, it's good to get some exercise because most of our days, I'm sure, at our firms, our butts are in the seats. You know, maybe we're at a standing desk like Jason is right now, pacing around. But most of the time, we're kind of in our offices on calls. So it's as you mentioned, there's so many opportunities to connect, and not just in sessions, but to have lots of conversations. So speaking of sessions, though, Tony, are there any like standout keynote speakers or sessions that you would personally recommend?
So yeah, definitely. I love the keynotes. I make sure to get in there after a nice hearty breakfast, wherever that may be, across the campus. But I think the most important thing is getting in and getting seated and listening to these guys. ILTA does a load of research, particularly the ILTA Con committee, does a load of research into themes and topics that are hot. And this year we've got Ryan Campbell coming and talking about the power of prioritizing joy. I'll let Jason tell you whether that's joy or chief exec or whether that's joy in terms of happiness. But we've got, Ryan's on the Monday. Really looking forward to his talk in that whole bit around mental health and as I say, about prioritization, which is a challenge for all of us in our day-to-day lives. And then we've got Reena Sen-Gupta. She's joining us on the Wednesday, talking about sustainable digital transformation. You know, sustainability is a hot topic, as is digital transformation. So both of them are great sessions. The other session I'll let Jace talk about is the Thursday morning, the kind of G100, G200 wrap-up session, which I think getting to hear what the top leaders in the legal field are working on is fabulous.
Absolutely. Jason, how about you? You want to talk about that G100, 200 session or even, I don't know, Joy's not on the call right now or on the podcast right now. So you could add some insights into, I saw that title of the opening keynote. I was like, is it about joy or is it, or something else?
I think the ambiguity is intentional. But yeah, no, I agree with Tony. The G100, G200 is really great. It's really interesting to hear what that group is sort of chewing on and deciding to focus on over the day that they have earlier in the week. And it gives you, particularly if you're, in those departments, in those structures in law firms, or if you work closely with law firms, it gives you a really good sense of where those leaders' focus are.
I think the great thing is the kind of closed room session, the G100 and G200 sessions, the full day sessions, but actually the wrap up on a Thursday really lifts the highlights out of them and shares it with the whole community. Yeah. And as Jason says, you can go back to your firm with some really decent insight on what's going on those, particularly those mega firms and some of the things they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, I had the opportunity, as you know, last year to attend the G200 and, been part of that community for the last year. It's been really enjoyable knowing being able to connect with you all and know what's top of mind on CIOs. And there's definitely a lot going on. And, to be able to translate the overview or the recap for the entire community to let, the ILTA community know what are the top conversations that everybody wants to know about, I think is awesome. So, Tony, here's a question for you. I know you've been ILTA president for 2 years, right? So your reign's coming to a close in a couple of weeks at Iltacon. So as you reflect back on the last couple of years, what have been like your proudest moments and even some lessons learned?
It's been an amazing, super quick 2 years. I can't believe it's 2 years already. Yeah, I know, Jason, you've got it all in front of you. There are a whole bunch of things that I've learned, and I suppose the most the most surprising thing was how much I've learned over the last 2 years. Being the chair, president of an association isn't like any other volunteering role. It's a real full-time commitment, and you're involved in all of the aspects of that organization and where that organization is going. So I think the biggest thing was the lessons that I've learned that I'll take back into life, and actually I take back into my work every day. It was way more intense, a lot more effort than I anticipated. Sorry, Jason, I should have told you this. But on the other side, it was just an amazing and probably one of the standout things in my career, which has been it's been pretty long from the early 80s, you know, so scary stuff. Proudest stuff, I think the financial stability. I mean, ILTA is in a wonderfully strong financial position that allows us and has allowed us as a board over the last couple of years to really invest in improving the kind of day-to-day experience of our vast membership across the globe. So I think that is the standout thing from the real dark days of 2020 through to 2021, when the previous boards were really dealing and grappling with some real challenges. And to come out of that in such a strength is all about ILTA, the community, and really the last sort of two boards have really put in play a fabulous platform for us to invest in. I think that's probably the proudest thing. Is the financial stability that gives us the opportunity to improve how we work with our business partners, improve our web experience, improve our mobile. Whoa, woohoo, we're going to have a mobile app at last, you know. Oh, geez, you know, but it's amazing. These things all cost money, and it's been real tough in the 10s to get to that situation, whereas now we're in a great position in the 20s where we can invest in stuff like that. You'll have seen we've done an international roadshow this year. So we've been in places that we've never been before, and we're getting incredible attendance. So there's a huge thrust for ILTA's education in places like Italy, where we had about 500 people attend a session. We were down in Spain as well, and across some of the Nordics in the coming months. So yeah, brilliant. That's kind of really my proudest thing.
That's awesome. And obviously in this time I've got to know you. We've probably crossed paths a few times, but we got to spend some time, on the G200 and even being the Arma Chair, ILTA president, that partnership. So it's been nice to work with you, and of course, looking forward to working with Jason as well. So before we pass the torch to Jason to comment, Tony, as you pass the torch to Jason, what advice would you give him? I mean, you told him that was more than you anticipated, which I think any board member would probably say on any board level. But what advice would you give Jason as he steps into his role as president of ILTA?
Well, Jason and I sort of started our volunteering career at similar times, albeit that I'm nearly twice his age, but I was late to the party. But Jason knows the challenges around, the time and the commitment and the effort. I think the big thing for me is, as I know Jason is and will be kind to your boss, because at the end of the day, the effort and the commitment, you'll notice yourself, the work that you need to put in. Be kind to, obviously, your family, So missing Dirkx and the kids and all that kind of stuff, you need to be uber kind to them, because you're going to be dragged away for weekends and stuff like that, which everybody thinks is great fun. And they are, but they're great fun in a work pace. So you're not sitting on a deck chair somewhere. You're sitting in a dusty meeting room in a hotel. And friends, colleagues, take every bit of advice, every bit of feedback that you can get, and translate that into how you deliver your presidency. That's for me. I've had an immense amount of advice, guidance, and never shy away from feedback, because I firmly believe it always comes from a good place.
Excellent advice, right? Stay humble. And so Jason, what are your hopes for ILTA's future and the direction that you'd like to take the organization? I know it's a loaded question.
You mean,
what do you think?
Assuming I'm still here after everything that Tony just said, right? Yeah. I've thought about this a lot, and beyond, we kicked off talking about ILTA, which is this premier conference, and it's great. But in reality, the vast majority of our membership and business partners and constituents that are part of ILTA don't ever go to conference, or only go to conference very infrequently. But by the same token, ILTA's real differentiator from a lot of the other conferences and other things that have started to spring up is the community that surrounds the organization. So what I'm hoping that we can continue to do is Tony sort of outlined some of it that we started during this last term, but I'm hoping we can continue to really strengthen our experiences for members and constituents at the local level. So both in the US and globally, and also continuing to strengthen our digital platform, our digital presence, to support those relationships digitally online where everybody is these days as well.
Yeah, I think that's excellent advice. So Tony, we're like 2 weeks away, right?
Okay, I
And
can't believe it. I'm
so
so looking forward to the G200 session because I know you're doing a bit of moderation of that group this year, aren't you?
that's what they tell me. I'm emceeing,
Yeah.
you just got to keep me focused, on the themes. And I think we're doing a session together too, right? We're co-moderating, so that should be fun. Be able to banter a little bit. No, it's always fun to hang out with some CIOs on the G200, have some laughs, learn some stuff.
I think that G200 community is just such a great community, such an open, collaborative environment because, that group's, the resources at the disposal of that group is nothing in comparison to the G100. So therefore, they've got to make so much more with what they have. And that peer-to-peer community is so important. And occasionally, Jason, hopefully you'll be able to attend those sessions this year as part of your presidency. I think they're a great thing for the president to be involved in. What you get is you see some of the G100 guys and girls sneaking in the back door of the G200 just to hear what's going on, and they're a massively welcome addition to that community. As is Jim from his own experience in the innovation side, but obviously from the armor side, it just brings that information governance, and it's hugely important, and to have experts in the room from outside of the legal tech space and really more in that kind of process and governance space has been fabulous over the last couple of years. So yeah, looking forward to spending the day on Tuesday and having a bit of fun.
Yeah, it's been amazing to be a part of it. Looking forward to seeing both of you in a couple weeks. So I know we talked about a lot here. I know we could probably go on and on, but final thoughts. Maybe we'll start with you, Tony. What's your message to the ILTA community as we gear up for Iltacon 2025?
A couple of clear messages for me. Anybody want to bring their sneakers? We'll be doing a bit of running when we get there. So always a fantastic location, Washington, to do a bit of running, and it's only a 20-minute Uber ride down to the monuments. So, but yeah, no, real important messages. It's been an honor and an absolute privilege, and I'll tell colleagues at the AGM that to be the president and serve on the board and serve the community, and really just do the research before you get there. Really look at the agenda, what's going on in the business partner hall, which will be absolutely fabulous. There'll be over 25 newbie startups there, which will be amazing. So really do your research, do the spade work before you get there, so that when you arrive there, you really know where you want to go. And just an adjunct to that is ask people. You'll see people going about with badges with loads of stickers on them. Just look for any of those people, anybody with a badge on, and that community is going to give you a bit of support. So, I'm thoroughly looking forward to being stop loads and around the place.
Excellent. Jason, how about you?
The part that I'm really excited about is I think for the first time we're basically taking over National Harbor. So the entire area is ILTA stuff going on. And so much so that we're spilling into Alexandria as well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how all that kind of plays out and seeing the energy, not just at the Gaylord, but throughout that little area of National Harbor. So I think it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast.
So
sure.
you think one of the standout things for me is the size of the American flag, the US flag flying in National. It's just amazing. I just love that sight. I just wondered if we could get an Iltacon flag up that mast. You never know.
Hey, you never know. So to the listeners, that's the ask from for the next 2 weeks. That's what Tony's at the helm, so he wants an ILTA flag, in National Harbor. So maybe one of the business partners can make that happen. You never know. A lot of connections in DC. Seriously, Tony, Jason, thanks so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to having you on the hot seat, gearing up and hearing about what's in store for Iltacon 2025. Looking forward to seeing both of you in National Harbor. Just to everyone watching, Iltacon 2025, it runs August 10th through 14th at National Harbor. So whether you're an attendee, a business partner, or just passionate about legal tech, this is the place to be. Right smack in the middle of the summer, right? Come down and learn about some more legal tech. And here's some personal advice. Come ready to learn, connect, and be inspired, because there's a lot that Iltacon has to offer. It's more than just a conference, it's a community, and there's no better time to be a part of it. Of course, too, visit iltanet.org for registration, full agenda. And again, until next time, thanks for joining us on the Hot Seat. I'm Jim Merrifield. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the InfoGov Hot Seat. Follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and LinkedIn. Check out our main website at infogovhotseat.com to view our latest episodes and much more.